on their journey to this convention. During university break, we all head to a therapeutic healing convention. Sacred flow equals transformation. We decide to meet the week preceding for some rest and relaxation. We first travel by train, then take a bus up to the mountains for days of fishing, swimming, and hiking. Our bus is full of travelers. Some speak our language, but not well. We don't speak theirs well either, except Siri, but we try. Even though it's morning, they drink wine out of flasks. They ask us to share. I don't, I can't. Too early, too much new altitude, but Jake and Siri do. We get to our hotel at night. The weather is very cold and I am unprepared. Jake, a thoughtful packer, brings extras, scarves, vests, dental floss. Gunther, who made a hotel reservation, pre-orders a dinner he expects will meet the dietary needs of our group. Green beans, peppers, potatoes, salad, soup, apple cake. He also orders chicken, explaining to the kitchen that some, but not all, of our group is vegetarian. The kitchen did not understand the specification and loaded up each plate with vegetables and chicken in the kitchen. As the waiter approaches with individual plates of food, each topped with a drumstick, Bo waves his hand, coughs into his napkin, shakes his head no. I'll take it, offers Jake, lifting the leg off a pile of beans and peppers. No, I need a new plate, a separate plate, says Bo. It's not by choice. My system cannot tolerate poultry dippings. I'll get you a clean plate and clean vegetables, Bo, says Jake. My system is sensitive. That's a big part of why I'm so thin, why my clothes are so baggy, Bo explains. I know I sound ridiculous, I really do, but I cannot eat certain things without getting sick. It's easy to make fun of something like this if you don't suffer from it. Now that's rough, Bo, no worries, says Jake before speaking with the waiter about bringing a clean plate from now on and bowls of separated food dishes only. Oh man, I'm sorry, says Gunther, laying a hand on Bo's shoulder. I set this meal thing up before we left. I'm really sorry. Dinner's fine. We wake up to a cool morning and meet for breakfast in an outdoor cafe. I wear Jake's sweater, socks, and gloves. We sit with the English nun we met last night, who knows Siri's father, and invites us to do some mountain trekking. Street cleaners are cleaning the street. A couple wearing face masks sits at the table next to us. They're camping on a site along the river, and we learn, also attending, sacred flow equals transformation. Jake asks about their masks, wondering if it's for warmth. No, for protection, one answers, going on to explain they usually do not need such protection up here in the mountains away from polluted cities, but the street cleaning stirs up enough toxins that their bodies require a defense. At this point, we lose Jake, who sits down to ask them to explain. The rest of us discuss hiking. The nun pulls out several trail maps. Later, Gunther starts taking our pictures. I've never won an award, he says. Bo wins them all the time, says Francis. Gunther asks, Bo, how did you choose your life? School, writing, Francis, yoga? 2 ways. Gradually and suddenly, answers Bo. Gunther, I've seen your photos of me. They turned me into a swan, says Siri, tipping her head back. My neck is not long, but it looks so long. How do you do that? Trade secret, says Gunther, snapping another photo. We take a walk around the small town before returning to our rooms. On our way, we again see the nun outside of the church planting flowers. She invites us inside. It is a small, spare church, and somehow it feels very good as we look at its windows, altar, ceiling. We sit for a while in the pews. Things turn warmer that afternoon. The nun provides excellent maps. We hike, then hot and muddy swim in the river. We eat our packed lunch. Hard rolls, cheese, grapes, and sausage, and jugs of water bottled from a nearby spring. Of course, only some of us eat the sausage. We find the spring on one of the nun's maps and plan to head there after fishing, but the wind comes and we all fall asleep. The next day, Jake takes a trip to a neighboring village to meet with his friend and colleague, A.E. The two met several years ago, and the bond started when they, young reporters, both worked as scouts at the start of a particularly vicious and unsuccessful occupation. In this case, scout describes a member of the press or military sent out to function as a bridge between citizens and the incoming forces. They sat in on meetings, listening to military strategies for demolishing the enemy, and reported what they learned to the people. Before before the war got started, both saw things go too far, way too far. They saw soldiers and civilians killed instantly or become slowly, gruesomely mutilated. They saw filthy makeshift hospital rooms filled with wounded boys writhing on cots or floor blankets. They saw terrorized families and whole neighborhoods turned into bloodbaths. I asked Jake once, what was the worst part of having to view all this kind of thing again and again? He rarely responds directly when I ask about his job, but this one time he does. Well, after a while you get caught between three kinds of bad, constantly looking at the bodies, dead, injured, hurting. Knowing you cannot stop the attacks is one. Trying to imagine what goes through someone's mind, getting hurt or inflicting the hurt, is two. Growing used to seeing and hearing it all is three. I walk Jake to the bus stop. He carries a pen and notebook. I hand him a paper-wrapped sandwich I asked the hotel staff to prepare and a bottle of water. We hug, kiss. I start to tear up, but I don't let him see. Once the bus moves away, I feel better. When I walk back to the hotel, Siri tells me that Gunth is just back from a visit to the town doctor because of a bad upset stomach. The doctor suggests a 3-day fast. Gunth has never fasted. She jokes that Bo put a spell on him because of the food order mistake. That evening we sit at a table sipping tea and mineral water. Gunth, who has not eaten all day, behaves uncharacteristically hostile and directs his bad mood toward Bo. Bo, where the fuck do you get your jollies? Staring at Brett? Listening to Francis belittle you? Becoming anorexic? My clothes are baggy. Like you think it's cool? Like it's something to feel proud of? All of us, including Bo, stare at Gunth. How do you afford to get so many fucking degrees anyway? You must make a lot of money from your books. Huh? Unless you have a rich relative. Do you have money, inherited money, hidden money? That would explain your lack of embarrassment. I put an arm around Gunth's shoulder. Hey, calm down, Mr. Photographer. Your toxins are talking. Bo, it's his toxins. It's nothing you've done. I don't have as many toxins as you fucking think, says Gunth. Oh man, it's good Jake isn't here, warns Siri. What, I'm just saying you don't have toxins. Hey, I say, Siri means throwing the fuck word at me. And Gunth, you are truly one to talk about money. Where would you be without your family's hidden money?